Welcome to Control Plus UX, a podcast where we explore how design, research, and technology are reshaping the way humans interact with the world.
We are diving into what's new, what's next, what actually matters, whether that's AI in design, accessibility wins, or latest interface that made easy. Wait, that did what?
I'm Jennifer Gaines, a senior UX researcher with a love of data, everything research, and smart design that not only looks good, but actually works.
I am Paresh, a senior UX designer who loves making things easy, clear, and maybe even a little fun to use.
In every episode, we'll explore what's new, what's next, and what matters in the ever-evolving world of UX. Okay, so for our first topic, we are going to be covering a really big trending update in the world of Apple. So Apple just unveiled their new iPhone 17 at the Worldwide Developers Conference earlier this month. The UI is called Liquid Glass, and it has caused quite a buzz with everybody, and everybody has a lot to say about it. And so, Paresh, I want to get your thoughts and your first impressions about this UI. Like, what did you think about it when they started showing footage of it?
Yeah, Jennifer, like looking at the Apple new iPhone 17 UI, I'm seeing some interesting things. On one hand, they are making an interface that learn from what users do and try to guess what they need next. But as a designer, I'm a bit worried about the balancing between the being helpful and being too much. Like in the last, I think, few days back, I have also posted in the LinkedIn the similar thing where I am seeing continuously after this update, like people are posting continuously about that thing. Some people are very happy and excited to post it something like they are able to see the new designs, new renovations in the design field and the some motion effect, glass effect. It is really cool as a interface side. And the other side, other hand, if we can see, the people are also worried about the usability and accessibility. So that is a very remarkable thing I have noticed. What do you think about it more?
Yeah, I would think like first impressions for me, visually, it's very stunning. It's gorgeous. It has this, it's kind of hard to explain. It has this more of this like organic, futuristic sort of look to it.
Yeah,
I'm sure their marketing team is like going crazy trying to promote it. It's because of how pretty it is. However, I did another thing I also realized too was that we've seen this before. So if you remember, like back 5 years ago, Apple came out with a similar design to this. It's called glass morphism. Very, very similar look to it. Came
yeah,
out and it went away pretty quickly. And I think because it had a lot of issues, kind of like what we're seeing today.
yeah,
The other thing that I noticed too off the bat was that for as pretty as it is, it like for accessibility, it's a nightmare. So you look at it and it has issues with like readability, low contrast. I mean, even for somebody like myself, like where I have no visual impairment problems, I'm like trying to look at it and I'm like, yeah, this is really hard to differentiate if you're trying to go through like the UI.
yeah.
So but it sounds like I know you found an update that Apple kind of went in and they fixed some of these accessibility problems. Do you know exactly what they did?
Yep. So exactly like that's where I think we need to be a really careful as a designer. Just because a technology can do something, it doesn't mean it should. I'm seeing the trend where we are excited about what, but like if we can see another side, what AI can do, we are not always asking if it is should do it. Sometimes a best solution is still is a simple one. So I'm not saying like Apple UI is not a good one, but I think it is really nice right now. Features people are using, it is exciting, and even the team are also like fixing the bugs, whatever related to accessibility. But as a designer, whenever we are creating a new product or designing something, we always be a mindful something about that. We in the trend of the UI, the beautiful things if we are going to create in any product, we always keep in mind that the accessibility standard is a first and usability is a first, because it is the priority. When the user are going to use it, it should be the positive effect to make them, and a happy path should be there. So I think this is a really exciting part about to and a great learning to the designers from this Apple UI, new UI. You
Yeah.
what about it?
Yeah, and I think like at first that was like kind of surprising to me because Apple's usually a pretty huge advocate for accessibility. You know, it's pretty baked into a lot of the design work that they've done in the past for their devices. And then to just kind of like bypass this one area was just very just kind
Yeah,
of like off left field. But it
yeah,
sounds like they listened to everybody and they just kind of went back in and they quickly fix this, before they're going to do their release. I think it's like sometime in early September. They haven't released a date yet at this point, but Apple is one of those companies where I've noticed they do tend to have a really good balance of like form and function in
yeah.
their work, and so that's pretty good to see, and it's good to see that they have remedied this really big problem with their upcoming release. So
Exactly.
so yeah, so we'll be excited to hear more and kind of get our hands on this device when it comes out early this fall.
Yeah, definitely. We are looking into more excitement in the next versions also, and it is really great part to like enjoying this motion effect they have added in this current UI. It is really crazy to use because the glass effect and the water effect they have added. Like I really explored in my phone that, and it is like feeling something new, which is excitement to giving a product that a user can really interact with and feel the product with a new interface. So that's excited.
Okay, so a lot to look for coming up in the next coming months after summer.
Yep, sure.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into our second segment, and it is all about AI. So today, Paresh and I are going to talk about our experiences working with AI, so using it as tools and then also designing for the space of AI as well. So for myself, I'm going to be talking to my researchers out there in the audience. Uh, So if you are deciding on, hey, I want to use an AI tool to kind of streamline more of my research, because a lot of times we don't have a lot of time to do our work, um, there are a couple of things you want to think about and evaluate in a new tool before you even start. So the first thing, and it doesn't matter which tool it is, the first thing is that you want to evaluate for this tool privacy of the data. So this is something your company is going to really want to be interested into as well, especially their legal team. So for the data that you're going to be using with this tool, how does it protect the data? Is it open and exposed out to the world, which is not what you want? Does it keep it contained? Um, so that's a pretty big consideration there right off the bat. For
Yeah,
example, Microsoft's Copilot does a couple different things. One is that they have information gardens where they kind of keep the data contained, it's not exposed to the public. And then also there is another option where it has a timed deletion option. So you kind of have to, if you're using that tool, you have to really speak with your team or your company as far as like how they want to handle that part. So that's one thing to think about. Another thing is like for this program, what sort of errors does it tend to make? Of maybe having some biased results coming back. You want to be really mindful of that. Another thing too is that at what point do humans have to interact with a tool? Is it something where you can leave an automation, or do you have to really watch it? And what is the quality of your research going to look like with AI intervention? So that's a pretty big thing to kind of think about while you're using this. So as far as for my experiences using Chat GPT, I've learned that it does pretty well with, we'll say, low risk activities. So anything that it has to deal with quantitative, whether it's like you're asking it to pull out certain instances where a certain word was mentioned or topic, if you have to ask it to calculate anything, create graphs, visualizations, it does that perfectly. It's beautiful. It also is a really good brainstorming and ideation partner. It does that pretty well as well. Looking up, secondary sources for desk research, not as well. You gotta kind of you have to watch it. So sometimes it's on the mark, sometimes it's not. Writing up study guides, it's a little bit generic because a lot of times it doesn't have the context you have as a researcher of your project. So you can have maybe a nice baseline. You probably might be fine. Areas where it needs a lot of work, it still is a work in progress.
Mm.
Qualitative research to analyze for analyzing. I have run experiments where I've thrown in sample data, nothing related to the companies I worked at, just to see what it would do. Um, Half of the time it would kind of pick up on some of the themes I was looking for, half of the time it would not. It's not really good at picking up things you want to look for or nuance. So you have to be very, very careful. And I don't think it's quite there yet. Also, how you prompt. So there was a story that just came out from a research colleague in one of my communities, and he asked it to be a research assistant to help him. He asked it to pull out quotes from participants verbatim for his report, and he noticed the quotes coming back were nothing that the participants had said. And then after a very long conversation with the interface, he found out that Chat GPT, its default is to summarize, not
Right.
give verbatim. So would a different prompt have worked to solve this issue? Maybe. But again, you have to be very careful in how you look at these tools and work with them and how you go about it. So just a word of caution, it can be a help, but you have to understand what it does really well and what it doesn't do. So um, those are my learnings from the research side. And now Paresh is going to talk about some of his adventures as far as designing with AI. Okay, take it away, Paresh.
Yeah, thank you. And it's really a great insights you have provided regarding to the research and how the AI is currently working with the research processing and everything. It's
Thank
amazing to hear. And yeah, about the AI with the UX. So it is really interesting and hot topic in the current design trends. So let me bring it a little easy way. Like if I can say, according to me, what AI in a UX is basically from the designer perspective, if I can start with, it's really important topic. Like AI is not just a magic that we can add a quickly and expect amazing output and things is happen. AI is something can do, like it's only a good information that we can give it to a well understand that problem we have trying to solve. And think about the everyday examples we see, like just an example I can say, like chatbots, a smart reminder applications that do the task, and the features that shorts and show you a quick information. So that kind of the some applications features currently in the trending related to the AI in the market right now. So these aren't just a magic solution, they are like planned ways to using the AI that solve the specific and clear problem. So I think this is very important part. And as a designer, I found there are really two ways to like we work with the AI designers. So one is that is very important. First is that something is using the ready-made AI tools to make our work faster and easier, like getting ideas and features. And so just an example, if I can mention, when we are following the UX practices, so we are like creating some research and creating some wireframings and all that. So for that, we are using the some AI ready-made tools, and using that concept, we can make our work is a faster in the process and make it better way, and to provide a quick solution something. So that is the one way. The second one is that like as a designer, we can adding some AI features directly into the apps or websites, whatever we are designing. And this is where you need to think about the business perspective. I think business person, not just as a designer. So when you are adding AI into the any product, you are balancing like what the business needs, what user expect, and what's actually possible to build. And you need to a smarter solution that really help with grow and usability. So let's take a chatbot, since everyone adding in them now in a platform, like to make a faster response and everything kind of the AI features. So you can't just put a chatbot in your application to think like you are done. You need to think about the always people might talk to it, like understand its technically possibilities and how the AI data works, like basically if I can say the LLM works, right? So that we designers we need to think about it, and also like plan for when we things wrong. Like sometimes we are sending some few prompt to the LLMs or the chatbot and they are reacting. It is machine, it is not a human. So the tones and the some responses and how the conversations are coming in the error pack, sometimes we asked something and it is not trying to be cover as much our expectations, so people might get hurt. So that kind of the little things as a user experience we need to be a consideration when we are designing any applications for the specifically AI related things. So that are the two different things when as a designer we are working, we need to take care about the AI. And I think there here is something like important I have learned from now. Like AI is creating excitement, but honestly, a lot of the just putting the information in the boxes in the organization, that's not necessarily to solve this real problem. Sometimes you don't require the that much AI features in your product to make it very tricky. Just use it simple rules, like if it is some features which make the product your work easy and you are able to use it a very faster and good way, that is important. So I think this is a very important topic when we are using the AI, because if you can't explain why useful it's simple words, your user probably don't need it. So I think that's about the AI and the UX. The designers need to be take care when they are designing any products.
So, question for
So
you,
yeah.
as you going through this experience, so I know there's like a lot of excitement around like trying to put AI into everything, into like all the products. So, how do you push back on stakeholders where they're like, we have to put AI onto this, onto we have to add it onto our product? Like, how do you push back on them to let them know like this might not be the greatest
Yeah.
use
So
case to do this? How did you have you had to do that before in the past, and how have you done that?
So, sometimes like client have seen the some similar applications in the market and they
Mhm.
are coming with some references. Oh, I seen this application have this capability. Can you please add me for the same?
Mhm.
So, as a designer, I need to take a call with him and first note it down the what is your exactly needs. Are you
Mhm.
really expecting the similar output as the AI capability is giving to you? As the another product is getting the same output, are you expecting? That the needs is important for the business goals what we are trying to build. Okay, so I think that is really important. But as your like questions on that the AI when client is coming with it the capabilities I wanted to build in my product,
Mhm.
so the important thing we need to take care about it. Yeah, we can definitely edit, but first we need to take what is the needs.
Mhm.
Does AI can fulfill it in a easy solution, or are there any alternatives to give it a better way? So that kind of the some questions we need to ask in ourselves and point it out. And according to that, if we can provide the solution, it would be the product success, I think.
Okay. Okay, so have you ever encountered any surprises as a designer as you're designing for this new space of AI?
Yeah, so like surprises in terms of like if I can say, uh sometimes you as a designer, already the things like the requirement first you can understand. The basically you need to notice about that the needs as the customer is asked to us. It is something a requirement, how it makes the user work easily, I think. So like say if client is wanted 10 number of the features in their products, but as a designer we need to decide it like which features is better to provide them as a AI capability, and which is can be done by easy development and the giving the easy features which is currently available in the market. So I can give you a quick simple example how it is work. So just an
Okay.
example, if I'm building any SaaS based platform or something application where client want the some communication faster way, so we can provide a chatbot. That is a good thing. Apart from that, one is that if the sum of the ready-made features is something I want data, which is coming in the long way. So I can provide it in the simple UI grids and the features we are providing, the tables or kind of the components elements we are using in our designs. So I think the main factor is always concern about the what client needs, what we are providing, and what is the easy solution to give it to them. And also think about the pros and cons about the timing, budgeting, and the requirements part. So that can never going to fail.
Okay. Okay. Good things to keep in mind. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm sure AI is a very, very hot topic, and I'm sure we will probably be revisiting it again quite a bit in the future. So, but it's kind of good to keep an eye on it and kind of see how it's evolving in our space. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really good insights from your side also related to the research. So you want to give any 2 or 3 pointers, something very important when we are working for the some researches, which is really needful, like when the we are building any product of basically the SaaS base or something which is currently not in a market. So that point we need to be considered as a point of the research, we can say. So do you have anything to guide us?
Something I would kind of echo something similar to you. Like one's like, do you really need to add AI to this product or this area that you're building? Because sometimes like it is not needed at
Mm,
all. It's just kind of like the latest thing. Another thing is that when thinking from a UX side, research side, from a strategy perspective, you have to think about it as like, okay, if we are adding AI to this space, how is it going to evolve? What sort of patterns are we going to see? How is the user going to be accessing this data? Because now with AI, um, because you don't really have, I shouldn't say you don't have an interface, but you have a very minimalized
right,
interface. It's more prompting, it's information, that's your product. What is that going to look like? What type of data is coming in? How are they going to interact with that? How is this going to evolve over time? And what sort of patterns are we going to see over time with this space? So those are kind of like some like long ranging strategy things you want to think about, and you work with your designers very closely to kind of develop that out.
right.
And I think if you do that, you'll have a very winning roadmap going forward with whatever product you're working on, because you kind of have to think about that, some of these things as you keep going, because it's a very
Mm,
fast moving space for this
right.
area.
Because every after few days, it's something coming new in the
Yeah.
market.
Yes.
So that's a very important topic. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And like from here, I just want to edit few things like from the UI UX with the AI.
Mhm.
So I have listed down some of the list ready-made AI tools which I'm going to add in this description. So it can be a really interesting to use it for if we are working with any specific UX project, then it is really helpful to creating a user's journey, wireframes, mockups, some of the quick solutions if we want. Obviously, we need to customize it according to our requirements, but definitely it is something can help to make a designer's life easy and faster.
Yeah, that's great because everybody can start getting started on it and experimenting and see what they think. So yeah,
Yep,
great resources there we can provide for everyone. All
yep,
right.
great.
Okay. So that's it for this episode of Control Plus UX, where we decode the trends and tools shaping the user experience one conversation at a time.
If something sparked your interest, challenge your thinking, we did love to hear about it. Drop us a message, share the episodes, or tag us on the platform.
And don't forget to follow, subscribe so you don't miss a drop of new UX insight.
Until next time, keep asking questions, keep designing with interactions, and don't forget to hit Control plus UX when it's time to rethink how things works. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.